Hello everyone, March W13 here with another hotel review, and this week we are in Washington State on the Olympic Peninsula at the Sea Cliff Gardens Bed and Breakfast, which is located between the towns of Sequim and Port Angeles, right here on the bay. And I believe that this bed and breakfast has several rooms. I think only two are occupied here on 4th of July weekend 2021. But we are in one of the theme rooms called Marie Antoinette's Boudoir, I believe. Let's check it out. So the main draw of this place is the location and the view, but I suppose we'll start with the essentials. The bath facilities and bathroom. It does have a jetted tub, which may be a plus for some. There's a little bathroom sort of nook here, plenty of towels, it appears, some toiletries, including maybe some off-brand shampoo and some soap, and a little hand soap dispenser, and looks like there's a hair dryer as well, and these drawers don't appear to open, and I'm not finding much else here, but that's perfectly fine. There is also a toilet with a reminder that this bed and breakfast, which is quite secluded and close to nature, is connected to a septic system. So you have to be very careful with the toilet. But having said that, here is the walk-in shower, and it's actually fairly spacious and nice on the inside. Really not terribly surprising, but quite pleasant, and it looks like there is some an additional option for shampoo. And then we have this armoire here, mirrored. Everything is antique, and I presume intended to sort of align with the theme, which is again Marie Antoinette's Boudoir. And we see actually a good number of wooden hangers there, probably at least 8, and a bathrobe, a single bathrobe. And then you have the bed itself, which has this canopy above it with some fabric topping it, and some sort of floral fabric decoration there, which is interesting, and some, fine woodwork there. The bed sort of sounds like it's going to creak a little bit. This is perhaps what you would expect from a bed and breakfast. You're staying at someone's house, and it has that added character element, but maybe lacks some of the consistency and standards that you'd get from a 5-star chain hotel. And it's also relatively hard. I guess maybe an 8 out of 10 on the hardness scale. But I still think it will be pleasant to sleep here tonight. And there is a sort of an old-fashioned wooden coat hanger here. Antique-like lamps. Now, one of the things that perhaps I failed to mention is that there are plenty of lights or electrical outlets here. There's a whole bank of them here. Now, perhaps they're not optimally placed here towards the entrance door here, but there is other electrical outlet availability. Although, if you wanted to plug in by your bed, it appears that both of the wall standard wall outlets there are occupied. And on the mantle of the fireplace here is where I think this room really begins to shine, with all of these little antique touches that again are so consistent with the theming. And there is a fireplace which I believe is operational. Perhaps we'll try that here in a moment, but we'll move on to, I don't know if this is Marie Antoinette's boudoir, but which is what the room is named again, but it looks like some space for perhaps jewelry. I'm sure this is rarely used, and of course there's nothing here. But atop this is some very nicely cut crystal wine glasses, a couple of different varieties here, some sort of homey coasters here, the nautical theme, as we are at the Sea Cliffs bed and breakfast. And I'm not going to even bother opening this, but this is really, you can tell, a genuine antique, sort of stone or marble topped here, and very very intricate carving work here on the furniture. And there is some nice, what looks like perhaps original artwork here as well, strategically placed throughout the room. There is a, we'll call it a 38-inch or something like that television set. I don't think you'd come here to watch TV. I think you'd come here to retreat from the rigors of daily urban life, and that would include possibly disconnecting. But if you did want to watch TV, apparently there's, I guess we have some sort of broadband based television that looks like it has a lot of channels, all in HD, of course, and there is a DVD player as well. You don't see those too often anymore, but it's probably a vestige of how this bed and breakfast operated in decades past. And interestingly, there's a deck of playing cards here, and a couple of magazines. Looks like a garden magazine, and one dealing with the area, with Washington State. And then you have this little sitting area over here, which is topped with some more outlets. Looks like actually a cube containing three electrical outlets actually, and three USB, which I think this is actually much more conveniently placed than the one by the entrance door. And there's some emergency instructions. There's a nice lamp here. All the remote controls for both the television and the DVD. And then you have there's some emergency contact information for the owners. It's a couple that I think it's Bill and Laura that operate this bed and breakfast, and looks like there is a taxi service here, even though we're sort of out in the middle of nowhere. You can golf, but obviously the main attraction here is the nature, which is we are in the Olympic National Park essentially, which is just absolutely beautiful year-round, particularly this time of year. Even though you don't have the snow, what you do have is just gorgeous weather. Highs in the low 70s, lows in the 50s Fahrenheit, and pretty much universal sunshine because we are in the annual dry season. Now, it also looks like there is a control for maybe the air conditioning, but it also denotes that this is the controls for the fireplace. So let's just see if we can ignite the fireplace. Let's give it a shot. Oh yeah, that works. So The nights here this time of year in July aren't terribly cold, and they've actually had kind of a warm, or actually really warm, hot spell here. So we probably won't need this, but actually probably much of the year outside of the summer months, you probably would need this very much. Let me see if I can turn this off. Oh, easy enough. And again, the main draw here is this view. We are on the very edge of what I suppose would be called the Strait of Juan de Fuca, which is just on the northern edge of the Olympic Peninsula, right across. I suppose it's well, it's at least 10 miles. I'm not sure exactly how far it is across, but just across that strait is the great Canadian state of British Columbia, and the very charming town of Victoria. And I know that there are ferries that go there. I'm not sure if they're operating here as the world continues to recover from COVID. And fog has set in, and it is a nice 64 degrees outside. But perhaps we'll go down there in a couple of moments and explore. But the water of that strait, which is essentially the ocean, which is why this is called the Sea Cliff Gardens, is right there, and for all guests to enjoy. So again, this is the Sea Cliff Gardens between Port Angeles and Sequim on the Olympic Peninsula in Washington State. And I guess I would say that my first impressions are that this is an absolutely wonderful getaway. Very quiet, very secluded. The weather is incredible. The nature attractions nearby are really unparalleled. And I would say that whether you're a resident of Washington State or you are visiting the Seattle area and you have a couple of days to explore beyond Seattle proper, this I think would be a fine addition to your itinerary. So until next time, happy and very safe travels. Marsh W13 out.